Dear parents, it has been a short 5 months since arriving in Lawrence from Massachusetts. I am part of the third party of settlers who have arrived to this town of few framed buildings and thatched hay roofs. I do believe that my passage with the New England Emigrant Aid Company will prove successful, and I look toward new business ventures and the opportunity to keep this beautiful land free of slavery. Your son, Edward P. Fitch. Dear parents, it has been 1 year since arriving in Lawrence from Massachusetts. I have been keeping school and operating a boarding house for 10 to 15 men. I continue to work with Mr. Stearns in the provision store. I am in pretty good business here now, so I will stay here and live on my claim. There has been a free Negro here for a little while back, and the pro-slavery men have been trying to prove that he was a slave and get him away. A lot of us armed with Sharp's rifles went out under the command of our orderly sergeant to protect him, but the slaveholders backed out and dared not try anything. If they had, we should have pitched into them with our rifles. Your affectionate son, Edward P. Fitch. Dear parents, I have built my house in town, north of my claim, and I'm now writing in it. I have got all my things here, a chair, table, and a bookcase. I have been at work on the Free State Hotel for the last week and more. My work has been to boil the tar for the roof. The Emigrant Aid Company is preparing for the rush of immigrants to Kansas next spring. I hear that my claim will be jumped if I am not there. I ought to put in a wheat crop this fall, but I have not the capital. I shall have to stay more on my claim, and I can't hardly work here and do it without a horse, and I have no money to get one. What to do, I hardly know. Tomorrow is the day appointed by the legislature for the election of delegates to Congress, and today we hear there is a large body of armed men within a few miles that say they're going to burn this town and kill all the Yankees. The town is in a state of excitement. You have no idea of the state of things that exist here, and you cannot conceive of our feelings. Your son, Edward P. Fitch.
Thomas W. Barber, a young Free State settler from the Bloomington area, was shot and killed while riding to his claim on December 6th after having helped in the defense of Lawrence. He died almost instantly. Said Dr. Wood, "It is almost impossible to restrain the men tonight. Their imprecations of vengeance are loud and deep, and General Robinson has something to do to restrain his own feelings." Colonel Lane received a small limb of a tree from the enemy's camp with a bullet in it and hemp bound round it, with the compliments of Colonel Burns of Missouri. Barber's body was lying on a table in the Free State Hotel when Governor Shannon came the next day to discuss the war situation with the Free State leaders.
Dear parents, late at night I went to bed with my Sharp's rifle loaded and lying by my head, not knowing at what moment in the night the drums would beat to arms and I should be called up to help defend the town. My rifle is my constant companion. My Sarah and I hear that the Missourians attacked our men at Easton, 10 miles from Leavenworth, on Election Day, and demanded their ballot boxes. But our men would not give them up. They then fired on our men, which fire was returned, badly wounding 2 Missourians. The opinion of most is that we shall have to fight in the spring. God only knows how it will end. Ora pro nobis, Edward P. Fitch.
My dear father and mother, I have been trying to summon the strength to write to you all the particulars of the sad, sad day which has brought such gloom to this once happy place. At sunrise I was up. It had been a warm, still night, and was a lovely morning. They were here. Stealthy, silently they came till they reached the heart of town. A half-hour's notice would have saved all. I heard the report of a pistol, and then another, and another. "The rebels are upon us," Edward said. In 5 or 10 minutes, fires were springing up in every direction. First the Republican office was in flames, then barns and houses all around. All at once they swept up to the house, surrounded it. In an instant a ruffian, a demon, burst open the door. Oh, that face! I knew his doom was sealed. Your loving daughter, Sarah Fitch.
Having stood for 9 years as the outpost of freedom, shall Lawrence be deserted now? Shall we leave the new-made graves of these martyrs to be torn up by the wild beasts of the field? Shall history say that freedom here sought a home and was driven out by the minions of slavery? No, my friends, Lawrence may seem dead, but she will rise again in a more glorious resurrection. Her ranks have been thinned by death, but let us close up and hold the ground. The conflict may not be ended, but the victory must be ours. We may perish, but the principles for which we contend will live. Lawrence is an unmistakable place for free speech, for free ideas, and free thinkers.